Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder. This is the show we talk about sports with comedians. So without further ado, let's get it started. My man Talent, one of New York's finest, is in the building. T, what's going on, bro? How you doing?
Oh man, it's a great day, brother. I don't know what's going on, but this is the summer winter we all wanted. I don't know. There's a summer winter going on.
There it is. There it is. My man Mike Sean is also in the building. What's up, Mike? How you doing?
What's good, fellas? What's good? What's good? What's good?
My man Mo's in the building too. What's up, Mo? How you doing?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all feeling? Chilling out today.
Y'all seem like y'all are dragging today. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because it's Wednesday, hump day. I don't know. But we're going to get the show started, man. So
wait, how are you dragging? Just say hello.
I know, right? I know,
Yo,
right?
you mad? Yo, you mad judgmental, son.
Hey, hey, Talent. You know the difference between doing a white room and a black room.
All I
black
know,
room, you gotta be funny 2.2 seconds.
yeah,
is Frank mad judgmental. How you doing? I'm fine. You weak, kid. You weak. You down.
You suspect, son. You suspect. No, Boston's you suspect, dog.
Okay, I don't understand what you guys mean I'm on live, but all right, I guess.
No, you started. You were on.
You didn't play the whole intro.
The
It
intro
clipped
cut off.
and it was just you sitting there going,
Yeah.
Really?
But
Yeah.
we're the ones that dragging though.
Yeah.
we dragging. You farted and everything.
Frank was playing the role of ponderer. He was just pondering.
I guess I don't know. I'll look back at it, man. I'm glad y'all told me that. All right, let's jump into it, man. We're going to talk about this Damar Hamlin situation in a second, but let me see if you guys noticed this situation, T. Dana White, the UFC president, Dana White, admitted on Monday to slapping his wife on New Year's Eve. He acknowledged the incident, speaking with TMZ after the video surfaced of White slapping his wife in the face at a New Year's Eve party on a balcony. The woman is seen with her head and her hands in the face after White slaps her, and then the woman slaps, she slaps him, he slaps her, and then the footage cuts off moments later. Again, this is the UFC president, Dana White, get caught slapping his wife on camera on New Year's Eve at a club, New Year's Eve celebration. Man, I don't know how many people would be still in a sport, T, if they got caught slapping their wife on camera. I don't know, but that's,
First of all, those were the days. Some days are gone. Those are the good days. You get slap her and go back to partying. Where you gonna do that at? First of all, understand something. It's traditional to bring in the New Year's next to your significant other, and I think kiss at the strike of midnight, right?
Yeah.
This bro, he's trying to change his style. He's trying to create something new. It's the dumbest thing in the world. You gotta. I don't know how many times we can say this. You have to live life like you're always recorded.
Yes.
Because 9 times out of 10, you're being recorded on somebody's camera. I mean, whether it's a phone coming out, whether you know how many people on my block alone, I think almost every house but mine got the Ring thing, the Ring video thing, whatever. You got cameras that the government has on poles, traffic cam. Dude, it's you gotta be smart and live life like someone's always watching. So I don't know if he thought he was gonna do this, Frank, and there wasn't gonna be footage, and he was just gonna keep on moseying along like whatever, my word against hers, or figure it out. You can't do that no more. I think we all know that. And more importantly, forget about the cameras. I don't want to be with anybody that I got to smack.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a fact. As a young man and an adolescent coming up and dating chicks and coming out of school and high school and all that, them days are gone. That used to be cute back then. Them days are gone, bro. So the minute I realize I got to put my hands on you, that's when I do this. I Heisman you out of my life. You Heisman to the side and let me keep getting these yardage. You know what I mean? I'm going for first down. You out of here. So the fact that he's with her and it happened on New Year's, yo, you know how pissed off you got to be? New Year's?
Yeah. New Year's. That's the thing that really ticks me over the thing. But Mike, this is a UFC president, Dana White, caught on camera slapping his wife New Year's Eve, and people are online right now, especially on Twitter, on the feed and everything else, saying, "Why is he still UFC president? He shouldn't be anymore because he got caught on camera slapping his wife." What's your thoughts on this, Mike?
I don't even want to talk about this, but they asked because this is such a if you watch the video, she does smack him first, which is never acceptable for you to smack the person back, but she chose violence. He chose violence. That is an issue that they have in their relationship. His answer when they asked him, he just said, "Yup." He was like, "Yeah, I did it, and there's no excuse for it." And when you're the owner of the establishment, he's not going to fire himself. And they actually stayed on vacation. He did the interview with TMZ from vacation. He said, "We're still on vacation." He said, "It's something I'm embarrassed about," but he really doesn't care what we think or anybody else thinks. It's a toxic relationship. Once again, she did smack him first. That doesn't mean that it's okay to smack somebody, but obviously, I believe this ain't the first time she just reached out and touched his chin. And, when you add the amounts of alcohol that were added into that situation, things like this, whether we like to admit it or not, whether it's wrong or right, the reality is things like this, you put enough liquor in a toxic or non-toxic relationship, things like this could happen. He owns the place. He said he did it, and we move on from there. I can't, I'm not going to judge anybody. If he was a player, he even said he's a hypocrite because he even said he's called people out for doing the same exact thing. I don't know what to do. He owns the place, and he's going to keep on doing what he does. And if you like seeing violence, you got some more violence, and that's what the MMA is.
It's the UFC, right?
Yeah, it's the UFC. So we pay.
Do we want our commissioners smacking people just to rep the league? I mean, like,
that's
so because people always talking about wrestling fake. Maybe we want to prove this is real.
That's the question. Mo, what's your thought?
Man, I don't even know what to say about it. It's messed up. Any, like Chandler said, any relationship that you in that's got to turn to violence, it's time to step off. I don't have time for that. I got other stuff to do. I know I ain't smacking no chick in public because they ain't gonna give me the same privilege they give the UFC owner.
those are facts.
They taking me to jail, whether she hit me first or not. So I'm gonna take that L and try to run with it. Maybe it'll give me some more views or whatever. Give me a new league to start with. Brothers up to be united against women that hit men. I don't know, but I ain't hitting no chick nowhere in public behind closed doors. Yeah, it's a wrap.
Days are over.
Yeah, so let me just throw this quickly out there. You guys might want to say a sentence or two, but I want to make sure we said it, so I couldn't say I didn't say it. But tennis great Martina Navratilova is got diagnosed. She's 66 years old. She's a tennis legend. In case you didn't know, she won 18 majors in her Hall of Fame career. She's got records and everything else that'll probably never be broken. She got diagnosed basically with throat cancer and breast cancer. And she came out and posted that she's battling this right now. Again, she's 66 years old. She's been battling a fighter her whole life. Real quick thoughts on Martina Navratilova, and we move on.
Man, pray. All I can say is prayers and hopes go out, and that she strong enough to take this double battle on. I hate the C word. I know everybody hate cancer with a passion. Like, it is the one thing that I believe in my, without any scientific fact, I believe that we brought all these different cancers on with technology. I think that's the trade-off. With all the radioactive stuff that we use on a daily basis, but you wish this on nobody. My prayers to the fam and to her, be strong, and I'm hoping she come out the other side on this, man.
Thank you both. Mike, what's your thoughts on this, bro?
Same here. You got to put prayers up. Unfortunately, everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, but most people have dealt with somebody that they love or care for who has to deal with the battle of cancer. And you hope she's strong enough. You hope she got detected early enough, which what I've heard from doctors is a key to surviving, is being detected early. So hopefully that's the case in this situation. Hall of Fame, iconic tennis player, and we wish her the best.
Yes.
My mom passed away from breast cancer, man. It ain't no joke, man. This thing is serious. Mo, what's your take on this, bro?
Yeah, I was gonna actually do cancer on Sit Your Ass Down during Jimmy V week. I really was. And I was toying with it because, I didn't know how to make it funny because it's so serious and it's just so sad because, like, the one thing that don't discriminate is cancer. Cancer don't care if you black, white. It don't care if you are racist or not a racist. It can hit you or hit someone close to you. You know, it's just sad to watch, you know, people go through it, man. And I want to say in the that if we stop trying to fight each other so much and learn and fought cancer just as much as we fought each other, maybe we can find a cure.
That's a good point and a great statement there too, because that's exactly what I think too. All right, let's move on, man. Yesterday, while we were on the air, the Bills and Bengals game officially got called that it'd be moved, and they said that they don't know what they're going to have a date and everything else because of this Damar Hamlin situation. Last night, I heard that the NFL is discussing possibly calling the game a draw and not redoing the game, like not playing the game and calling it a draw and see how it all handles. I don't know how the NFL will handle it. We talked about this a lot yesterday because obviously what happened with Damar Hamlin. I'm not trying to do the whole show on this, but I just want to say, what's your thoughts on this now? Because right now, as I'm talking right now, they're talking about it again. Damar Hamlin, you know, obviously they showed some signs that he's coming back. You know, he's slowly getting back to, you know, hopefully regaining consciousness. What's your thoughts on this, man? The Bills-Bengals game. Do you think the NFL should call it a draw and move on? Because there's so many implications on this, bro. What's your thoughts, Steve?
The only reason I don't agree with that is because there was a team with the lead. So it's sportsman's sake, you gotta do something better than just leaving it as a draw. Because if I'm the team, you know, let's take all the tragedy out of it and just go right to the game. If I'm the team that's up 7-3, that's a smack to my face to just say, oh, we're gonna call it a draw. Because I'm up 7-3. I'm the only team that scored a touchdown. To be honest with you, you scored a field goal, I scored a touchdown. I still think they got time, bro. I think the powers that be, because it's an intricate part of the season, being that last 2 weeks, and it meant placing and stuff like that. I think that it'll be played out, even if they shorten it. You know how they do with sometimes adding the overtime or something like that. Even if they shorten it and do something competitive where they finish the game, maybe they come back and do a half, maybe they do three. I don't know, but you play something out if you're gonna count the game. You know what I mean? Instead of just hitting it as a draw, because that's a disservice, to the game if you're gonna play the game. But I think they got time. I think you let this whole week play out. Like we talked about it yesterday. Thursdays next week is a perfect night because there is no more Thursday night football.
Yeah, that was definitely a thought.
And somebody's going to get a buy out of that anyway. So it ain't like you got to turn around and prepare for the next week, one of them teams. You know what I mean?
I don't know if they're going to get a buy because now this year is the first year where they're doing only the top seed gets a buy. Remember? It used to be top 2 seeds get a buy, but this year is supposed to be the first year of 17-game season and no buy. So I don't know. And I don't think the Bills are in the top. I don't know if the Bills or the Bengals. The Bengals definitely aren't the top seed. I think the Chiefs are the top seed. I don't know. I'll dive into it. Mike,
I thought the Bills were.
I think the Bills are too. What's your take, Mike? What's your thoughts? You think the game should be called a draw because that's what the NFL are having a discussion with?
I think they're waiting to see because of Kansas City. They said if Kansas City wins, they wrap up the number 1 seed, no matter what the Bills or the Bengals do. So I think they're waiting to see what happens with the Kansas City game. I don't have a problem with it either way. Like I don't have a problem with them calling it a draw or continuing it on. Like I said, this is uncharted waters. Could they have moved everything back a week? They could have, but they're not going to, once again, the logistics of moving everything back a week and holding everything off. I think they didn't want to do that. I think they want to keep their 2 weeks in between the AFC and NFC championship game and the Super Bowl. They want to keep the 2-week build up, which is the NFL in general, just, marketing and keeping everything at its ultimate potential. I don't mind. Honestly, I don't mind. Now, if the Bills or Bengals have an issue with it, I can't argue with them. If they have, if the two teams have an issue with it, they have every right. They were the ones involved to have an issue with it. If they don't, then I'm good. Then I say go on. And once again, if Kansas City wins, then it's non and void. Then everything that Kansas City gets the number 1 seed and everything goes through Kansas City.
Yeah, that's very true too. Because Kansas City could win, and the game it really would be looking back on it would be meaningless. Absolutely right with that one. What's your take on this, Mo? Do you think that the game should be called a draw? Mo, you're mute.
I'm just like, Mike, however they choose to do it, it's cool. I'm just looking here now because the Chiefs are the top seed and Buffalo is second, and then right after them is the Bengals, and then the Jaguars. So however, this is still uncharted territory. You know, you really can't get mad at whatever happened because this has never happened before. You know, they'll come up. The NFL is gonna come up with a solution where, no matter what happens, they're gonna get them checks. That's what the ball. That's what the ball down to. They're gonna get the checks for the games or whatever that they need to play, and they're gonna figure it out. You know, and move on from there. You know, and people probably won't be upset because of the situation that happened. You know, it's not like it was somebody's fault. Right. You know, and they got to switch skate. This is a life and death situation, and you know, your life changes when life shows up, whether you like it or not.
Right.
So the one check I want guaranteed is the check of that young man. That's the check I want. I want that contract guaranteed.
Yeah,
and I need all his health benefits guaranteed also. Yeah, because sending prayers and everything like that is good for the NFL, but you should be taken care. He should never have to worry about rehabilitation at any medical bill ever.
Yeah, that's a great point. Being that we got to talk about the bottom half of the AFC and the other teams trying to claw in. New England ended up defeating Miami. So let's talk about that for a hot second. But the Miami Dolphins are turning to Mike Glennon because the Miami Dolphins, if the Miami Dolphins win this week with Mike Glennon, they have a chance of still eking in the playoffs, even though statistically right now they're not in. Do you like their chances coming in with the third string QB right now? And a couple of other things have to happen to make the, like if New England loses and I think if the Jets lose or somebody else loses, they have a great chance of still making the playoffs. But they'll be with their third string QB, then they move into the 7th seed spot. What's your thoughts on New England defeating Miami and Miami on their third string QB facing this week? What's your thoughts, Steve?
Well, I think it's over for Miami. I don't think the third string is going to get it done. My personal opinion. It's too little, too late, like they say. Too little, too late. I think it's too far gone, and I think New England's too thirsty. You know what I mean? Your team's a thirsty team right now, bro. So they're gonna pull out all the stops. You're gonna get the sleeves cut off of Belichick this week, and we're gonna see the old Belichick with the sleeve cut. I guarantee. Watch the weather. We in the 50s to 60 degrees right now. Watch you put the sleeve cut off joint on and go to coach and work. And I think Miami is unfortunately one of them teams that kind of like your quarterback gets embedded sometime in a team like Tua. And he becomes the guy. He becomes the engine or the locomotive, if you will. And I think their engine is pretty much seized and stopped. And the buck stops here. That's it. I don't believe in the third string quarterback in Miami. Sorry.
All right. Well, unfortunately, I think the Patriots are going to probably lose by 40 because they're playing Buffalo Bills this week. And after what Buffalo just went through, Buffalo's going to all galvanize behind Damar Hamlin. They're going to put it all together. And I think since the Patriots are going to Buffalo, that don't look like a good thing for them. Now the Dolphins on the other hand, I don't think it's either. Mike, but you tell me what your thoughts are because Miami lost to the Patriots, but they also lost Teddy Bridgewater during the game because he dislocated his pinky hand and throwing hand, everything else, and now they're trying to squeak into the playoffs too. What's your take on Miami squeaking into the playoffs, Mike? What's your thoughts?
No, it's Mike Glennon is not going to make it happen. That's the problem when your team's offense is based around elite wide receivers. Somebody got to get them the ball. Right. Somebody got to execute the offense. Tyreek Hill, as fast as he is, can't throw himself the ball and catch it. So Mike Glennon, if you're relying on getting to the playoffs with Mike Glennon, I find it very sad. I find it also funny. I don't find it funny. And this is no offense, Frank. I think we think Buffalo can just galvanize themselves as if this was a bad injury. I think it depends on where this guy is and what progress he makes. This is a lot to ask the Buffalo Bills to come and just get it together and rah-rah and get your mind right to play. I think it's a tough spot for the Buffalo Bills. Like I hope they win. I hope Buffalo gets a victory, but I wouldn't assume that they can just get it together the way they do when somebody tears an ACL or a star player is out because of injury. This is a whole lot different than what it normally is.
Yeah, I think it could affect their Super Bowl run for certain. I don't doubt that at all. I think a lot goes on this game. I'll be honest with you. I think you'll know what their season will look like how they play the Patriots going into the playoffs. I think that's what it look like. But what's your thoughts on Mo? What's your thoughts on Miami heading into the playoffs with a third string, heading to potentially the playoffs with third string QB if they can? Because they got to have a couple of other things happen, fall in place. What's your thoughts on this?
I mean, I don't know the scenario. Does Miami have to win out? Like they just win out, or do they got?
They definitely have to win. They have to win the game. The Patriots have to lose, and I think the Bengals have to lose. I'm not sure which other team they have to. They're waiting on two more. Oh, the Steelers. It's the Patriots have to lose. The Steelers have to lose, and I think, and then they're in. You know what I mean? So,
I don't know. You know, you can't sleep on it. I mean, Miami got the Jets. Jets ain't been looking too good lately. They ain't been handling their business. So
Watch him
anything
out.
can happen.
Watch him out.
I mean, I know it hurts. I know it hurts. We here for
Watch
you.
him out.
We're here for you. We're here for you.
You just say you know how to handle a black crowd. Handle it.
There's a 12-step Jets meeting. There's a 12-step Jets meeting right after this show. Charlie, you can go ahead and get your surrender chip.
Okay. All right. I got a remote over here that electrocutes you through them headphones.
Yo, the worst,
This is what happens. This is what happens when you do shows from places that have a background that look like the group home. I mean, I'm petty on that. I've been waiting for that one for a minute.
I love how I say stuff and people it stick forever. Like I people walk around with that vendetta. Nah, yo.
I had to get that in.
You know, an old car with a ceiling fan in it, old Eldorado.
But I do got to give Talon credit. The more the Jets lose, the more Jet merchandise he actually purchases. Like every time they lose, he's like, check out this Invicta. Yeah, what?
But you know what's funny, Mike? While I'm sitting here, I'm about to take the links out and adjust the watch to wear today.
all right. So, T, let me ask you this, man. Are you concerned about the Kansas City Chiefs because they barely, and I mean, when I say barely, they barely beat the Denver Broncos on Sunday, and we were sitting there talking about the Chiefs, the number 1 seed. They ain't got no problems, but they look like they limping into the playoffs, and you don't want to limp into the playoffs, even though you got to have a week off. You don't want to limp into the playoffs, and they barely beat the Broncos. So
I don't believe. You know what? And I think this is a good thing. It may sound like a bad thing, but I think it's a good thing overall. I don't believe in nobody right now. Like these games have to be played for me to finally see what's going to come of it. Like there's no team I go, yeah, they're going to. This year, and I think that's a good thing because who wants predictable ball?
Right.
Like who wants predictable? If we could predict all this stuff for real, would we be that interested? I don't think so. So I think that the fact that we got to play all these Sundays and keep playing even through the playoffs to figure out who is that superpower, because if you never respected the NFL and the football league up until now, you must respect it because these 17 games have kicked everybody's ass.
Yes.
Like you got teams that came out firing, bang, bang, bang. You like, ooh. 6 weeks in, they lost to them.
Yeah.
That's football, bro. So I can't call it right now. The Chiefs are one of those teams. Like we thought when we came out and started this year, everybody had the to-do list, the Santa Claus list, of who was going to be doing what, and everybody has felt suspect at one point or another in this season of football. So I really can't call it. Yeah, they're limping in, Frank, but let's keep this in mind. The guys who are most experienced in the playoffs should prevail.
And they all are making it to the playoffs, too. Let's not forget that
should
part.
Prevail.
Yeah. So, Mike, on the flip side, let's look at the flip side. On the flip side of that, Russell Wilson had one of the best games of the season with Denver. And now going into their, obviously, end of the season, because they're not going to make the playoffs, Jim Harbaugh is in conversations possibly to joining Denver. You know what I mean? For the next season. What's your thoughts on Denver if they land Jim Harbaugh? They're not even talking about Sean Payton. They're talking about getting Jim Harbaugh to go over there with Russell Wilson. What's your thoughts on that, Mike?
I mean, he knows how to turn teams around, programs around. I mean, he's done it before. He did it with the 49ers. He did it with Michigan. I think he did it at Stanford. He does his thing. Like, he's a quality head coach. He knows what it is to run a football team. And I don't see anything wrong with it. I just don't know what type of draft capital the Denver Broncos have left after getting Russell Wilson. So you're talking about a draft where you're going to have to really base it on your scouts. And the thing is, he ain't got no scouts. He'd walk into a whole new organization where he hasn't had any contact with the scouts and any contact with now, one thing, he's familiar with college. Obviously, he's familiar being there for years now. I mean, it's a good pick. It's a good move, but we won't know for a few years what this move is about. But quickly on Kansas City, I want my team to limp in on a 4-game winning streak and the number 1 seed. I'm fine with my team. This whole season has been a whole league, like Talon said, of people almost beating teams. You know how many teams almost lost to the Texans? There was a few teams that almost lost to the Texans. Kansas City is fine playing every game at home until Cincinnati comes and beats them. But Harbaugh's fine.
Okay. Mo, what's your take?
What's my question?
Your question is Chiefs versus the Broncos, bro. What's your take on this Chiefs versus Broncos thing?
The gummy hour.
Oh, it ain't the gummy hour. I took that. No. First of all, I don't think.
What's my question?
What's my question? He says to everybody else, "Okay, here's your question. Here's your question." He get to me. What's your take?
That's the whole point. You get to be able to wrap it up.
Kansas City. I have no worries about Kansas City. Number one, they're gonna do what they gotta do. So what? They limping in. They win the game. You know what I'm saying? Whether a win is a win, whether it's 1 point, 1 touchdown, 3 touchdowns, a win is a win. Ain't nobody counting how you won. They just counting the wins. That's number one. Number two, Jim Harbaugh. You know, it looks good on paper. But how many teams we got down here that look good on paper? We got to wait to see if he gets the job and is he successful? I mean, it'll look good on paper. Shoot, a few years ago, the Knicks looked good on paper.
Here we go again. Just gonna keep on going.
Damn, watch your mouth for real.
Why don't you just say my mother? Say my mother. Just say my mother.
Rodney Perry, what's your thoughts on the Kansas City Chiefs right now, barely beating Denver and limping into the playoffs because they almost lost to Houston. They won by 3. They almost lost to Denver. They had to come back to win against that. And people aren't liking the way they're playing going into the playoffs. They're the number 1 seed in the AFC.
What's your take? Smashed Halle Berry.
Hey, I'm gonna keep it real short. I really don't like to bet against this Patrick Mahomes kid, man. The guy finds a way to get it done, whether it's by like Mo said, by 40 points or 1 point or a quarter point. The guy gets it done. You really don't want to bet against him. How about this? The Broncos have been looking suspect all year. You know, so I like the Chiefs versus anybody, and they're my pick to win the Super Bowl.
Really? Okay, you picked to win the Super Bowl. Okay, he went out on a limb with that one. All right, let's.
Wait, they're the number 1 seed. How do you go out on a?
Well, first of all,
they ain't gonna be.
It wasn't a long shot, Mike.
You know he's gonna beat.
They ain't gonna beat the Bengals, and they probably won't beat the Bills. That's how it's gonna.
Put the camera back on me. Put the camera back on me.
Camera's on you. You want the big screen, Rodney? That's what you want?
Yeah,
he wants the Summer Jam screen.
Oh, okay.
I need to be on Summer Jam. Look, guys. I know the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills have sold y'all the fool's gold. They look great, but they're still who they are. They're losers. It's in their hearts and their soul. They will let you down. Guaranteed.
All right, since we talk about letting you down and soul and soul, I'm gonna circle back to Rodney Perry on this. Let's talk about the Bears and their 9-game losing streak.
that is just mean.
But the Bears are losing, but they're not losers.
No, they are losers.
Hey, Rodney, the Bears are so bad. It's not even fool's gold. It's fool's silver. Pop on you.
All right, but
say what you want.
The Bears lost a franchise record 9 straight. Franchise record. The Bears are the oldest team in the NFL, and it's the first time with Justin Fields as QB, first time in the entire history since 1920 that they lost 9 straight. But people like Rodney Perry are not calling them losers. They so
I don't like to call nobody loser. That's shaming. Let's just say there's a petition started to swap names in Chicago and make the football team the Cubs.
Bears?
They're not Bears. Bears, they maul people. They get it done. These are Cubs. These are Cubs still learning their way.
All right. So, I guess the question is, are you looking forward to seeing how they're able to put it together next season? Because they got
nothing. There's nothing to put together.
Nothing together.
There's nothing to put together. I got this schedule right here. They play 9 JV teams next year.
Wow.
The first 9 weeks, they play.
Oh God.
Listen, here's the deal. The Bears, if you can protect this young boy, man, I will say this: Fields, bad dude. He's the real deal, and he can be that guy. But the Bears just have to. They need smart scouts. They need people up in positions that can pick the right people, and put them on that team and get the job done. You're right there. You get the quarterback. That's the centerpiece, man. And you know how hard. Look at my team. Look how hard it is to figure out the centerpiece. Now you got a team that got the centerpiece, but don't have anything else, and they just letting dudes run amok in there, break the boy up, score all over the defense. Like they just can't get it done. Coaching, absolutely got to help.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can't go down from there. 9 in a row. That's hard to beat. Ain't but
coaching.
7, 8 more games in a damn season. Nah.
Coaching. I just want to make sure we remember that. You said coaching, right?
Coaching. You need coaching.
Okay. I just want to make sure you said that correctly. You need coaching because
that didn't got nothing to do with me whooping your ass in that bet. In that specific bet, we went Brady against Belichick. Don't think I forgot what the hell I just said. And I won. I was right in that one.
You ain't win yet.
Now you got a young quarterback, Frank, who because if we go back father time, if we could switch back to hand of time and get a young Brady, you need a Belichick. You need coaching.
That's what I was saying. That's what I've been saying.
Well, we wasn't in that moment in time. We're fast forward when Brady came into his greatness. So now you talk. That's a different ballgame. That's like taking UNC Michael Jordan and a Phil Jackson or a good coach and say who's worth more at that time, as opposed to fast forward 3 championships.
Okay, I'm thoroughly confused, but
you're confused.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Hey, Mo, give him a gummy, Mo. How are you confused?
Hold on, do you want me to give you back the Summer Jam? Hold on, let me give you back the Summer Jam.
No, I don't want to disrespect Mike. Let Mike rock. Mike got a nice back. Go to Mike.
Mike, talk to me about Justin Fields, man. Does the future look good for you for Justin Fields and the Bears? I mean, because obviously Justin Fields he's the second highest rushing QB in the league right now. Let's not overlook that fact behind Josh Allen. Let's not look behind that fact. Like he's doing something, but the Bears lost 9 in a row. What's your take?
Yeah, he's running for his life. Like, yeah, I mean, I'd have yards too when I'm running from the cops. If I'm on the run, like you play, Mike runs a lot. Yeah, because he's on the run. Like he has no choice. Unlike Talon, I have no problem calling somebody losers. And the Bears, to say the Bear organization isn't a losing organization is ridiculous. First of all, it's disrespectful to even call your field Soldier Field. That's disrespectful to the military because that would mean we lost every war we ever fought. And listen, man, the Bears are horrid. They're a horrid organization, okay? Like, let's get it right. Justin Fields is going to be in trouble next year and the year after that and the year after that until he moves his way out of Chicago. Name me a great quarterback that ever played for the Bears. And please don't say Jim McMahon.
Yeah,
he wasn't a great quarterback.
He said, "Don't say."
Like these dudes have they've never appreciated offense. They're still in the 80s. They're still doing the Super Bowl shuffle. Like it's over. Like it's a bad squad, and Justin Fields needs to get out of there as soon as possible. Oprah left. Michael left. They all leave. They all leave. Get out of there, Justin.
Hey, Mike. Rodney Perry left.
Mike, I'm gonna give you your question specifically since you're a smart ass of the group. What is your thoughts about the Bears with Justin Fields? Should they keep moving on with Justin Fields? Do you like the future with the Bears with Justin Fields? What's your thoughts with Justin Fields and the Bears?
I mean, I like Justin Fields, but the Bears just can't get it right. The Bears ain't been right since God left Chicago. I'm telling you right now. They haven't. They haven't been getting it right, and I don't see them getting it right no time soon in the near future. We hear people talking about other teams selling fool's gold. They're not even selling fool's gold. They're on the corner, snatching gold.
Wow. Wow, Rodney Perry, your team. We talk about your team. You said they're not losers. You said a lot of stuff about. Talk to me about your thoughts about the Bears, RP, and you got the summer jam. And I like that thought, that phrase. I'm keep using that.
But clearly,
Rodney, you
there we go. No, here goes, guys, and you guys had some really colorful words. It's interesting to watch you guys. You know, I mean, it's amazing to watch guys on their soapboxes. You know, when it comes to storied franchises.
Storied franchise.
I stand on what I said. The question on the table now is there a future for the Bears? Absolutely. Have they failed in the past getting the offensive line? Yes. I don't know if they know how to pick a big boy, but they need some big guys on the line, on the offensive line especially. And the defense isn't what it was in the past. So we need to shore up our defense. We need to shore up our offensive line. We got an A1 quarterback. We need a number one wide receiver. That all could happen in one season. So it's a matter of the front office going to work. And when I say a franchise is a loser, see, I've been to Cincinnati, and the city is dark and gloomy. They're always waiting on the team to lose. So they're not bad people. They just don't know how to win. And they're going to let y'all ass down again. And so is the Buffalo Bills. Let's not forget. You want to talk about the 80s? The Buffalo Bills? How they squandered 4 opportunities at the Super Bowl? The city is cursed. Talk about the Bears. Make your little jokes. Know this.
Little joke.
The Bears will rise again. You talking about a city that burnt to the ground and came up and grew to be the number 2 city in America. Come on, guys. Off my balls.
All right. We'll see. We'll see.
You can tell Roddy been doing movies lately. Because number one, he's super dramatic no matter what he does, right?
I believe that Rodney don't believe none of the issues just said.
Oh, that was an amazing performance, Roddy.
It was great, though. It was great. Hey, bro, that was history channel game.
That was.
The only thing missing was the voice to begin it. On the frozen tundra. The only thing missing. Right there at the beginning.
All right, so let's talk about Ja Morant. Now we're going to talk about the NBA. I don't know if you guys heard this, but TMZ Sports is reporting that Ja Morant is being sued after he allegedly involved in an attack of a minor during a basketball game at his Tennessee home in July. Obviously, there's not too much being reported about this, but they are seeking millions of dollars because Ja Morant attacked this minor during a basketball game. So he's being sued for, according to the report, $10 to $15 million right now. What's your take on Ja Morant being sued by a minor at a basketball game at his home? At Ja Morant's home. I'm gonna say that again. Ja Morant.
So hold on. Let me get this straight. This game was at his home.
Yep, he had a game at his home. A minor was at his home, and Ja Morant supposedly attacked him at his home. I don't know any more details about it. I've been looking. I'm still looking some more, but that's what I saw for TMZ Sports right before we got on the air. What's your take on this?
It sounds like an episode, something of a Call of Duty. Here's the thing, bro. And this is why I hate to say it, but this is why the more you're worth in this world, the more you have to protect your space.
Yeah.
And the problem is with sports, this part of this leg of entertainment is that these guys become professional at a very young age. So they're still kids at heart. And they still want to do kid stuff. Like have people over and, okay, you came and that's your man and that's your friend. And you don't really know all these people. And then something pops off, you have a disagreement or discrepancy, and y'all get to play fighting or whatever, turn into a real shoving match, whatever, because you're the one who has all of that to get. The other person's gonna come after it.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but this is where separatism kicks in. and you don't want to be this guy, but to protect yourself 9 times out of 10, you gotta be that guy. You know how many times, like Rodney, I know Rodney and Mike, we are familiar with being around crowds and doing shows, and we're people. We're not those, excuse my French, we're not those assholes at the game where we do our show, close our doors. I don't want to be bothered, but we're not those guys. We're going to set a table up. We got some shirts. Nice to meet you. Take some pictures. You had a good time. You laughed. But we those people. And unfortunately,
and you're exposed.
You expose yourself. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, for guys like us, all it takes is that one derelict who, for whatever reason, gets envious of you in that moment.
Wow.
And wants to take that shine off of you or bring your thing down a notch or two, because everybody likes this guy right now. So I want to say something or do something to change that. Mike touched me. Mike, like, what? What do you mean I touched you? I said, what's up? Like, he hit me in the shoulder. It was hard. What are you doing? And this is what people do. So I feel bad for Ja. You can't put yourself, I don't know what happened. I don't know if he did it or not, but before that, stop putting yourself in these positions if you can help.
Yeah. Because Ja Morant's got a multi-million-dollar contract. He bought his home in his neighborhood from Tennessee where he's at, and this youth is saying he attacked him in Ja Morant's home. That's the reports I see so far. What's your take on this, bro? Is it somebody you think could possibly potentially be, just money grabbing, or what's your take on this, Mike?
I want to excuse my ignorance. I didn't know they passed a law. It was illegal to kick somebody's ass in your own home. Number one, I didn't know that. But number two, it's going to take a lot for me to believe that Ja Morant attacked somebody. That man has immaculate skin. I cannot see ever.
Yeah.
That man is, I can't even see Ja Morant attacking somebody. Everything Taylor said was right, but this is nonsense. The story is nonsense. So they were playing basketball and they got into a scuffle. That's basically what happened. And you lost. You shot off at the mouth because there's no reason for Ja Morant to shoot off at you. He's a star basketball player. You said something, he said something. Y'all got into it. You go both your separate ways the way normal men normally do. But like Taylor said, everything he said is absolutely on point. You see a check, and Ja Morant has now learned a valuable lesson. No, you don't invite people over to play ball that you don't do background checks on, that you don't have video cameras videotaping every single thing that goes on, and you don't invite strangers to the crib. You just don't. You can't. Unfortunately, you can't. And now he's gonna have to pay. He's gonna have to pay some money out unless he has cameras, and maybe those cameras might actually show him kicking the kid's ass. But it's unfortunate, but that's how it goes. You want to be famous? Unfortunately, that's what being famous is in America right now.
It sure is, Mo. When you look at this, Mo, from the standpoint of being a star, do you think Ja Morant should be like a lot of other celebs and start isolate himself more, or are you looking at this saying, let's see what happens? What's your thoughts, Mo?
You got to protect yourself. But right now, Ja Morant's probably slapping the person that brought that kid over because he didn't know that kid. Somebody brought that kid over. But I read the story. It says that they were playing ball and the kid threw the ball and hit Ja Morant in the face. And then Ja Morant, struck him. And then the kid is claiming that they held him down. And Ja said it was in self-defense. The police investigated, turned over to the district attorney, and they're not pressing charges. That's what you want to hear. First of all, they not pressing charges, number one. And hopefully he had cameras around because it's sad that you're a target because you got money. Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
The police is not pressing criminal charges. This dude is filing a civil case. So that's the issue right now. And he's trying to get some civil money out of personal injury. And that's what he's going for. So, Rodney Perry, what's your take on this when you know that there's a lawsuit that's potentially going to happen because, they got into a scuffle at his home playing basketball?
Hey, this is one of those things where everybody's right, man. And this kid Jordan Poole, man, has got to stop messing with people, man. Whether it's on a professional court or on a pickup game, man, you got to watch your mouth because he first to one incident and now this. You know what I mean? And how about this? Just because we're on the court, don't mean your ass won't get tore up out here. Matter of fact, that's par for the course on the black basketball court. So, and how about this? Ja Morant live in Memphis. You lucky you didn't get shot.
How about that?
And that's coming from somebody from Chicago. So when he talks about getting shot, you better pay attention. You better pay attention.
I don't play none of them games. You know what I do to these young boys nowadays? I apologize. Hey, buddy, my bad.
Yeah. And do you know how furious John Morant must have been knowing how much extra time he spent at the hairdressers after that situation?
Nah.
Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick.
The highlights in his hair alone
are amazing. They're stunning.
All right, so
now you gonna come fight us because y'all want to talk about the man.
Zion Williamson is out again, T. I'm sorry to say this, but it looked like dude's gonna be out another 3 to 4 weeks, and we all know 3 to 4 weeks is gonna take him straight to March. And the Pelicans are making a run. You know, they're doing some things right now. The Pelicans are teetering with what being the second or third best team in the West. So he got a hamstring injury, you know, and it seems like this hamstring is never going to be right. Like he's always having the same issues with his hamstring. Thoughts on Zion Williamson being out again? Do you think it's going to, you know, roll into the playoffs?
Well, I like it. I had a lot of money on him being out again, so I won the new. You know, you get a new Stitch jersey that should be here coming in any minute today. Is the Zion Grant Hill Williamson jersey?
Zion Grant Hill.
Is the Grant Hill about time? Like we done lived through a Grant Hill. Hey, go another Grant Hill. Him, AD, all of these guys in the same bucket. It's like you're dope when you're playing, but you're just not playing enough. If I can't get a seat, okay, let me go on Pat, and this is to my colleagues to feel good about Rodney and Mike. Let's give some props to LeBron James right now.
Super durable. He got one injury whole career. Yeah.
Durability alone. You're never gonna get me. I mean, we could talk and debate player versus player, but you're never gonna get me outside of this to disrespect the great LeBron and Rodney's word, besmirch the name of the great LeBron James, because there's something super valuable in your durability. This is an 82-game season. Every season, the man got 20 in. And here we are on a sports show trying to figure when we're going to get 16 games straight out of a player. That's a high-profile player. It's not a guy off your bench. This is the guy you banked up. You put all the marbles in this basket. You ready. And this guy can't give you a complete season, man. I'm sorry. All this talk in the NFL about taking quarterbacks' money back, let's take these dudes. Let's start taking money from dudes that can't play the games because they have no durability.
Wow.
I'm not surprised, Frank. And really, if it was my team, I'd be a lot more, pissed off. I'd be a little appalled, but it doesn't surprise me. I want to see these guys in their greatness, and if they can't be in their greatness, okay, guess what? There's 50 other kids that want that spot, that want that opportunity. And we're sitting around while some guy does not get the opportunity, some guy does, but he can't even play.
Ain't that the truth? Mike, Sean, what's your take?
My take is the Pelicans are terrified of what he's going to look like when he comes up after 3 weeks off. And I'm being dead serious. Having him not being able to do anything except, and I'm not joking, except have no discipline with his diet, that dude could come back looking like he could look like Charles Barkley in the TNT studio by the time he comes back. I'm telling you right now, you better pray that they have some discipline and he understands in 3 weeks, you're going to be back in the game. Please don't lose your discipline. Talent is right. I feel unfortunate. You can't do anything about a hamstring. I don't know what he's doing in his warm-ups. I don't know what he's doing in stretching. I don't know what he's doing. I just hope he doesn't lose his mind and get right back into gaining 25, 30 pounds and then coming back into the league and then having to spend the second half of the season getting back in shape because he was having a prime season and the Pelicans were trying to make a run in the Western Conference.
Yeah, I know. Mo, just like what Mike said, the Pelicans like the second or third best team in the West right now. They're making some work. They're doing some work. But Zion Williamson goes out. What's your take on Zion Williamson going out? You feeling like what Mike's feeling and T?
Yeah, I'm feeling that two college teams I don't like they players, Duke and Alabama, they always break. Duke players always break. They don't never last. What was that? Grant Hill, where did he come from? Duke. I'm not big on Duke plays. They come into the league, they just ain't built for it for some reason. I like Zion. I really, really do.
Me
But
too.
it's just sad that he keeps having these complications because he had the potential. He had the potential to be a great ball player.
Yeah, he still does.
And if you got bad hamstrings, why is you doing 360 dunks at the end of games when you blowing people out?
That's a great question, Mike. It's a great question. Rodney Perry. Zion Williamson is trying to be the guy to take over the reins from LeBron James, but it looked like he ain't never going to be able to do that because he keeps getting injured. So what's your take on Zion getting injured again? Another 3 to 5 weeks.
Man, it's the occupational hazard, the wear and tear on your body, man. I mean, it's easier for us to sit on the sideline and talk about this guy needs to be available. In the words of the great Fig, the best ability is availability. But the reality is the man is just probably bigger than he should be. He was a little kid. His dad is small. His mom is small. And he's an anomaly. And he's trying to play in this huge body. I watched a movie this past weekend called Big with Tom Hanks. And Tom Hanks put a child in a man's body. Well, somebody did that to Zion Williamson. And Mike alluded to his diet. It's crazy. I don't know if y'all seen this. On the heels of this injury, he's got a new deal with McDonald's. So the thing about Zion is he's looking for he's hungry. He's in New Orleans. It's all type of seafood everywhere, and he just want to go sit down and eat.
Man,
Hey, but I also want to say this though. I don't think it's gonna affect the Pelicans because as long as they got CJ McCullough, I think they're gonna be all right.
They are gonna be all right. They're gonna be all right.
The other stars hurt too, though, right?
No.
The tall, slim brother.
Ingram hurt.
Ingram came back. That's why they were winning.
Oh,
that's why they were winning.
They're not going to be all right, Frank.
They're not going to be all right.
I'm sorry. I hate to bust your bubble. They're not going to be all right.
They're not going to be all right now because Zion's injured. So, yeah, I agree with that. Like
they're not going to be all right. You're never going to see the word championship and Pelicans together.
Ooh,
wow.
That's low. All right. See, tell everybody out there how they can follow you, bro, because the show is rolling up. And we got to talk about tomorrow. We're going to definitely talk about the Celtics 2-game losing streak and getting spanked last night. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what's going on with the Raiders, and we're going to talk about where Jim Harbaugh made land, too. So I put that on.
They say it like it's news. Y'all got blown out.
I just said.
Wow.
No, you said lost. You just said y'all lost.
Y'all gave up 100. Y'all gave up 150 points.
Yeah, y'all didn't just lose. They wiped the floor.
Yeah.
Anyway. I like how you soften your words when you got to that. And we'll talk about the Celtics loss. The blowout.
And he said it real fast too. We're gonna talk about the Celtics, and then we're gonna talk about Jim Harbaugh. We're gonna talk about
he that newscaster. The crime happened at his house. Yeah, and an illegal break-in happened on the 400 block. Your house.
Right.
He's like that kid that tried to turn his
ass blown out. When the Knicks get blown out, I'm gonna do a slow.
Whoa.
Hey.
I'm just saying.
The Celtics gave up the amount of 3 college games in one game. They gave up 100.
Here you go.
First of all, Frank, Mr. Holder, we don't get blown out, Mr. Holder. We lose. We don't get blown out. We're not Chicago. Pause, Chicago. We're not Chicago.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh.
Ain't that mess? That's how bad Chicago is. When you say Chicago, you say pause. So
nobody said pause. Nobody said that.
Everybody, what you got going on, bro?
Hey, man, about to pack this bag and head down to B-more. Shout out to Baltimore, the most prettiest, ugliest city we got in America.
Wow.
Listen, going to be out there making it happen at the Comedy Factory. Me and my cousin Ed Lover put it down. My girl Ray Diva going to be stopping through Alabama. Going to be holding it down and everything. So 5 shows, y'all. 1 tomorrow, 2 Friday, 2 Saturday. The Comedy Factory was going to Boston, but we pushed that back, right?
Yeah.
So we will be coming up to Laugh Boston. Check all of our pages. Talented Comedian on Instagram. It's just comedy on Twitter. And King Talent. That's the puppy. Oh, y'all see how big the puppy got this year? Nina. Come here, Nina.
I like how he did that. Mike, tell everybody how they can follow you, bro.
Yo, just hit me at Mike Shaw Comedy. Check out the morning show Monday through Friday. Damn, that's a puppy.
She got big. Look at her. 4 months today.
Son of a.
Wow.
That's Zion. Jesus.
See that the McDonald package that I'm
That is a McDonald package for real. Go
What's the name of the puppy? Hey, what's the name of the puppy?
Oh, Nina Simone.
Nina. Okay. Mo.
Nina Simone. All my dogs are named after dominant and prominent names. From Muhammad Ali to the God Buddha to Barack the president, like everybody. This is Nina Simone right here.
Wow, beautiful.
So what's up?
Mo, tell everybody how they can follow you.
Yeah, man. Mo_comic on Instagram. Mr. Sit Your Ass Down on my TikTok. And this Friday, actually, I'm rocking out with Kenny Williams. He's coming to Boston. He'll be here Friday before he comes back for Brown Sugar. So I'll be rocking out with him at a event we got going on at the Boston Park Plaza Hotel.
My man, there it is. Rodney Perry, talk to me. Tell everybody.
I'm easy to find Rodney Perry live on all social media. Memphis, Tennessee this weekend, and my show on Media Room 360 returns on Monday of next week. Rodney Perry live every morning from 9 to 11, right after the great Mike Shaw.
There it is. There it is. The show's called Box Seats. It's on Humor Mill twice. 2 more times, 7 and 11 comes on 1 o'clock every day. Download the Humor Mill app. We'll be back tomorrow. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. And then we're going to dive into the last weekend of the NFL, talk about some of these NBA games. And of course, I've been here.
Not some NBA games, the Celtics.
The blowout.
Gave up 150 points.
We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to sit there for that. I'm going to take the whole thing. I'm going to do that. With that being said,
50 points.
I'll see y'all tomorrow.